Hey guys, this is Malonb or Malon from Facebook or malonb.etsy.com. Thank you for watching my second episode of Malon Makes. I do have 3 finished projects, each for crochet and for knitting. Let me start off with the knitting ones because I do have a work in progress for that as well and something I want to work on probably next week. Let me start showing you guys the first one that last week or last time, during my last update, this was a work in progress. And actually, I don't recall the name of it. I think it was like Little Old Man Sweater or something like that. Let me see if I can find it in the book. This is from a book I checked out from the library. That book is What to Knit When You're Expecting. I really actually like it a lot. I've already knit a couple of things from here, and I definitely wouldn't mind knitting. There's a couple of other patterns in here I want to try out, but at this point I think I'm just going to return to a library and check it out again whenever I'm ready for those. But I definitely would like to own this book at some point as well. They have a lot of really cute stuff. But my sweater I showed you guys last time that was work in progress is called Little Old Man Cardigan. This is the one. This is what it looks like. I'm sorry for the glare, guys. But they're very cute. And this is my completed one. Last time I don't think I did any of the sleeves. I ended up choosing this mustard color for the details. The yarn I'm using is some baby yarn, some Plymouth baby yarn. I don't have the ball bands with me. I did have to break into my second skein, and this mustard color was the best one that matched, or I think that matched the yarn, and kept it a little neutral. You guys know I'm expecting in April, and supposedly it's a boy, but sometimes it happens where, you know, they make mistakes, or for some reason or other, you know, what they tell you is not correct. So I thought whether it be a boy or a girl, this will do. So I did make a couple of changes as far as the pattern goes. Via the pattern, when you go back to finish a sleeve off, they make you do it not in the round, so you have a seam at the bottom where you have to seam it up later on. I do not like seams, so I definitely made mine in the round. I did that for both sleeves, obviously. I also did add the detail here of the stripes. They don't do that via the pattern. Also because my gauge is always kind of off, especially knitting wise. When I finished the section for the body, it wasn't as long as they called for, and I did have more space to make one more button. So I added 3 instead of 2. But I really like it overall. I did make the, I think it was 0 to 3 month size. So I'm pretty sure, well, I don't know how big my baby's going to be, but if he has to grow into it, that's really not a problem. I don't mind waiting at all. Since I will be having it in April, hopefully, well, not hopefully, but if I do have to wait a few months for it to wear it, that's totally fine, since it may be a little cooler by then anyway. But I really like how it came out. It was a really easy pattern. I definitely will make another one, or wouldn't mind making another. My next one is actually from the same book. This is a hat. I have to look up what the title of it is. But it's just a really simple knit hat. I made mine in blue. And this yarn is Loops and Threads Charisma, I'm pretty sure. It was actually my first time making an I-cord by hand. I do have, there's this little gadget that looks like a tube thing. I forgot the name of it, but you crank it on one side and it produces I-cord. You can go, you know, for as long as you want. I used it before. But this is the first time I actually made an I-cord by hand, and this is actually my first hat that I made from top down as well. Via the pattern, you start with the I-cord and then just work your way down. I did change a couple of things in the pattern. In the bottom section, they make you do a little, what do you call it? Oh, like a little tab where you would add a button. I don't know what that was. Okay, but via the pattern, they have a little tab you add and then put a button on there, sort of like a a design element. I don't know if you would actually, you know, unbutton and button it every time, but sort of like a design element. I didn't do that just because I wanted to, you know, finish it off as soon as possible. And I did make this in a day, which it's a small hat, so for maybe some of you guys it's not a big deal, but for me it actually is a big deal. I don't knit so much in one day, again, even though this is a small hat. So when I got done and finished this, again, I did it only one day, all throughout the day, not just in one sitting. My hands or my wrist or my arm or whatever was pretty sore from that, so I had to take a couple of days rest, just because I guess I did too much at one time. Okay, so that hat is actually part of a pattern of 2 items, which is this. It's the hat. There's a little tab with a button on it, as well as a little cocoon. And when I made my project page on Ravelry, I actually found out that this pattern with both pieces is actually free on there. So if you guys like it, definitely check it out. It is on Ravelry on my project page. Again, it is a free pattern on there as well, which I thought was pretty awesome. I was thinking of making a cocoon, but you guys know I have already made one, a Zelda related one, so I didn't want to make another one. But it is pretty cute. And oh yeah, did I already say that I really wouldn't mind owning this book, just because they have a lot of other awesome patterns, and a couple of others I already chose that sometime, whenever it may be, I want to make. This is one of them. It's a little sweater, this other sweater I thought was so adorable. So eventually I may recheck this out again, or like I said, if I can purchase it sometime in the future, that'll be really great. Okay, and my third finished item, knitting wise, is another hat. This one is a free pattern on Ravelry. I completely forgot the name of it, but if you go check out my project page on there, that pattern is linked. This one is a striped hat. It looks like this with a pom-pom. I made this one in the child size, I believe. So it's not like the smallest. I'm pretty sure my kid's gonna have to grow into it, which is totally fine. Again, I don't mind that at all. For this one, I used yarn. I'm pretty sure last time I showed you guys the yarn I dyed, which was this blue and this cream speckled one. So that's what I used to stripe it with. And for the accent color, I used some of that same mustard yarn I had, or that I used for striping the sleeves of the sweater. I also used the blue and the mustard for pom-pom. And I don't have like one of those fancy pom-pom makers, just I guess because I'm not really into making them. I don't think I've really made any before. But for this one, the hat looked pretty cute with it on. That's what the pattern does, or at least the pictures from the pattern show the hat with a pom-pom, so it is pretty cute. I definitely like the look. I just don't know if mine, since I did make this by hand, again, I don't have one of those makers, I don't know if it's too big. I don't know if it's full enough. I think it could definitely have been a little fuller, and also it may still need or it could definitely use more of a haircut, if you guys know what I mean. So if I'm like torn between, do I want to get those pom-pom makers or not? I don't know if I'll be making more of those, but at the same time, I definitely wouldn't mind because they are fun to make, they're fun to touch. So anyway, I'm really happy with this. Again, this is a free pattern. Check out my project page on Ravelry for it. Those are the 3 items I finished knitting wise. I do have one work in progress. Let me show that to you guys. And this is using my yarn pick for the month of February. You guys know that I'm doing the monthly yarn pick thing with my own yarn, and this time I included some of my own hand spun. For this month, I decided to make a cowl, which I have made before. I'm pretty sure Yeah, I'm pretty sure I made it before. This is a free pattern by Pearl B. It's called the bandana cowl. And I would say I'm definitely over halfway done with it. Probably a little over half, if not more. This is what I have so far. I don't know how much you guys are going to be able to see it. But this is a cowl where the front has the shape of a bandana, as you can see. That way when you wear it, it covers all your neck area here. So, you know, if you have like a zipper or something, it's just like a really nice fitting cowl to, you know, your jacket or whatever it is you may be wearing. I have made one before, also with some hand spun. It's actually, yeah, some hand spun and some yarn I dyed myself. The first one I ever made from this pattern, and I love it. It's really what I use the most, honestly. And this one is also turning out really nice. It's really soft, really squishy. And me being a newbie at spinning, my yarn, this one is really thick and thin. I don't know if you guys can even tell how thick and thin it is, but there's like really thin spots and thicker spots. And like I said, I'm at least probably more like 75% done with this. I still have a lot of yarn left. This is how much I have left. So with the rest of this, I'm thinking of making some maybe wrist warmers, or probably some wrist warmers. So I was thinking of hats, but I'll just have to see what I feel like making and how much I actually have left of it. But I'm really liking it. It's really soft. Really looking forward to getting it done. That is my work in progress knitting wise. And I do have one other project that I have not started yet, but I want to tell you guys about it. This has to do with last year. You guys know that I have done, or I did, try to make a project for every game that I beat. For last year, there's actually still one game I have not made anything from, and that's the Yoshi's Woolly World. If you guys do not know it or are not familiar, it's just a video game starring Yoshi, and his whole world is made mostly with yarn stuff. I think there's some quilting in there too, but it's mostly yarn things, crochet things. You know, they throw in skeins or balls of yarn, etc. in there. And I found this vase that I want to crochet I actually want to knit a cozy for, where I will be storing my straight needles. This is the vase or vase. I don't know how you actually pronounce it, but this is one I found actually from the dollar store, so it was only $1. And again, if you guys are not familiar with the game, I may post a picture up here of what I want to make with it. I want to make a pipe. I think most people will recognize the pipes from Nintendo games. I want to make a knitted pipe as they have in the game. So the shape of this is pretty ideal for that. And again, I plan to store in here my straight needles. So hopefully by next time, I should have it done in a couple of weeks, I would think. It's just measuring out my gauge and then making a cozy for it. Shouldn't be that hard to figure out. I definitely will be posting it up on Ravelry once I start as well. If you guys want to check that out. But that is all for knitting. So let me move into the crochet step. I have 3 finished objects as well. The first one is actually a set. And this is something I told you guys a while back I was planning on doing, but I just had not. It's a really quick project. This is from a free pattern. Again, I don't remember the pattern name, but it is up on my Ravelry if you want to check it out. I made a set of baby mitts resembling bell bags from the Animal Crossing game series. So these are it. I did crochet the tie for it. I was thinking of using some, what do you call it? Oh, some ribbon for it, but I didn't because I didn't know how the ribbon would hold up as far as if I have to throw in the washer or anything like that. So I didn't add the ribbon. I just, you know, crocheted, and it's really simple mitts. I guess you can use them for the cold, or if like to avoid, you know, the baby scratching itself kind of thing. And I don't know if they are a little big, you know, they may be a little big, so I just have to see how they will fit on him when he's born. I'm pretty sure I can either always make some more or just use them whenever they do fit, but they are pretty adorable. I'm really happy with them. Again, this is a free pattern. If you check out my Ravelry, you'll be able to find a pattern there. So I crocheted the whole thing. I crocheted the chain for the tie, and for the star, it's just some felt that I glued on with some fabric glue, non-toxic fabric glue, and I also actually went ahead and embroidered that on as well. Again, just because I don't know how much it's gonna be chewing on it, or if it's even, you know, in case he does chew on it or anything, try to avoid it coming off. So of course I'll be keeping an eye out for it, but that's why I did glue it on and embroidered it on as well. But again, I'm really happy with this. I think they turn out really cute. Okay, and I do have a couple of other things that are also made from a book. Actually, I checked that from the library. I don't know if I showed this one to you guys before. Last time, I don't think I made anything before then, or by then to show it to you guys, but let me show you that book, which I'll actually also wouldn't mind owning because they do have a lot of pretty awesome patterns in there as well. So for the next two, I used patterns from this book, Baby Bright's 30 Colorful Crochet Accessories. I made a couple of patterns, a hat as well as these booties. I love the booties. They're so easy to do, so quick to do. I made the newborn. I think it was either the newborn or like one of the smaller sizes. But I made mine in red. And I made the bottom a different color. This is what they look like. They're so cute. The bottoms are brown. I really love them. And this one's definitely turned out a lot smaller than the brown ones I did last time. So I'm pretty sure he'll be able to wear these sooner than that, obviously. But they are so cute. Again, so quick to do. I love how they turn out. They actually stand on their own. And for these, you work it from the bottom up. So first you start from the bottom, then work your way up. I actually want to make one more pair of these. I think I'm going to make the bigger size. I want to make a green pair. Again, they're so cute. And this pattern, I think actually both patterns I used, they are on Ravelry. I think you can purchase both on Ravelry as well. You actually, or when I looked for the actual book on Ravelry, I couldn't find it. So the book may not be listed in there, as patterns in that book. But if you look at the pattern name, or at least, I think even the pattern name changed. But if you take a look at the author of the patterns, you should be able to find those. Or I think that's what I did. I found the patterns on Ravelry just by looking at the name or the author of them. And again, I think they have different names for the patterns on there as they do in the book. But they should definitely be on there. So the next pattern I did was a bear hat. Looks like this. And again, this will have a different name on Ravelry, but it is on there. And this is mine. Let me get it for you guys. This is what it looks like. Also really cute. I love how the ears are made. And I just like the look of it. I just like the look of the hat. And these are, it's the first time I used this stitch. They call it cross stitch or X stitch, something like that. But it's using 2 double crochets. It almost looks like V stitch, but it's a different one. But yeah, I really like this pattern. I definitely wouldn't mind making another one as well, a little bigger sized. Maybe a different color combination, but I really like it. As I mentioned, I also wouldn't mind owning that book. It's pretty awesome. And that was Baby Bright's 30 Colorful Crochet Accessories. There's actually one other hat and one other shoe I really want to make from here, or booties or whatever. I really really like both of those books. And I actually do not have anything work in progress crochet wise right now. I don't have anything in the works. I'm still brainstorming if I want to make a big amigurumi or not. You guys know I was thinking of making a big one for whenever my kid's born. I just can't decide what it is I want to make, how big I want to make it, and yeah, I just don't know. I have to make up my mind on that. The only other thing I think I wanted to show you guys was my yarn pick for next month. I did post a picture or a prompt on Instagram, and actually Barry picked it up for me. I usually post a picture up and I ask you guys in general, Instagram, to give me a number. The first person that gives me that number, that is the yarn I pick for the month. This month, it was for this coming month, tomorrow is number 2. This is it. And that just happens to be some Bernat Mosaic. And this is a colorway Mineral. So this is what it looks like. It's a self-strapping yarn, slowly self-strapping yarn. It should look like this. It has some blacks, some grays, some greens, as you can see in there. And I've just been brainstorming what I want to make with this. I was thinking something color work, whether it be crochet or knitted. I was thinking if I want to make something with Tunisian crochet. I haven't done that in a while, so we will just definitely see what it is I feel like doing with this. I do have a couple of others, at least one more, if not two more skeins of this in case I need a bigger quantity. But yeah, this is what I will be working on this month. I think that's pretty much it, guys. Let's move into life stuff. Again, nothing much going on. Everything is looking good as far as my health goes and how the kid is doing. Yeah, I really think that there's not much else to tell. It's going to be a really short one this time. Again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.